All right, man. This is episode 2, Lost in Seattle. This is Duke.
And I'm Travis. How y'all doing, YouTube?
Why you wave your hand like that? Like a gangster son. Yeah, he did a
I,
little
I,
finger
I'm
swing.
gangster.
He did a little finger like, what's up? I'm Travis. Like, all right. Nobody can see that though. But yeah, man. Well,
They can feel it though.
we finally hit 2021. Well, this is day 2 of 2021. And you got some news today.
Oh yeah, I got my 600. I got my stimmy.
It wasn't the 2,000 we want, people wanted, but 600 gonna have to do.
It's gonna have to do for
If I'm not
now.
mistaken, they're still fighting for the next stimulus that they want to try and make $2,000. And speaking of that $2,000, some people and don't be being too happy about what happened. Somebody trying to put hands
On Nancy Pelosi.
on Nancy McConnell. As you can see, Pelosi, McConnell, homes vandalized after Congress adjourns without securing $2,000 stimulus check. So they went on, I guess you call it vacation. They went on a little. How long does that last? Is it just a weekend or a week? I don't even remember.
I think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm not for sure.
So yeah, they just like, hey, we can't get you to 2,000. Tough luck. So as you can see right here, it says that the homes of Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi were vandalized over the weekend after Congress adjourned Friday without securing $2,000 stimulus checks. Messages like "Where's my money?" and other expletives were written with spray paint across the front door and bricks of Kentucky Republican House in Louisville. So people weren't too happy that they decided to go on vacation.
Well, they lucky. That's all they did. People are out here suffering. They've lost their jobs. People have lost their businesses. We got our stimulus check in was it June, July?
You mean the first one?
Oh, the first one came in
No, the first you got yours in March. I didn't get mine
March.
until
It was a Wednesday. It was the
October.
last Wednesday in March, I believe.
Yeah, I think I got mine in like October.
So it's been 10 months.
Yeah, 10 months for $600.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
Lucky they didn't get ass.
That's like $1.59 a day. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. That's it.
Yeah.
Other countries like Japan and
Japan is paying 100%. Europe is paying 85%.
85%. So, and that's just we're talking about people who work and they're, even if they get their business shuts down, they still get covered that amount.
It's like they're being paid as if they were still open.
Yeah, as if they were still working. It's basically like unemployment here.
Mhm.
Basically. So yeah, America just don't. Somebody said America just ghetto. They just get on your own.
Yeah.
Instead of paying these small businesses to keep them open, their mindset is, hey, why don't you guys go patronize them? If a local restaurant needs help, go buy food from them.
Yeah,
And go home. And
That's
eat.
what they advertise. They advertise for the communities to get out and support the businesses instead of the government stepping in and providing financial aid for the business.
Not everything is meant to be eaten at home. If you're gonna buy out, I mean, pizza.
Yeah, we were just watching a YouTube channel. This was over in China. How they
Yeah.
were explaining, like, when they have the sauces and stuff, how it dries up and the food is not as good when it's takeout versus when you eat it in the establishment.
They don't care about this stuff though. But speaking of this coronavirus as well, things ain't going the same way for us like in other countries. You got right here. I mean, this is New Year's in Wuhan versus Times Square.
Well, there was an article that came out that says Wuhan is one of the safest places to be right now in the world. They started it, but they wanted the safest place to be.
Started with, so anyway, I guess you could say they had their own lockdown.
Yeah.
They had a better or did they? We don't know. They had a better lockdown, and I don't even think they took a vaccine. There's no vaccine there. I might be wrong, but I'll look that up. I'm pretty sure they haven't taken any vaccine. They just went back to normal life.
Well, they're kind of like, it's kind of weird. It's like the virus keeps mutating and it's like it keeps going around in a circle.
See this right here? So these pictures are what's going on in other countries or Wuhan and all this stuff, Asian countries, and what America is doing. So.
Well, them Asian countries getting ready for the Olympics next year.
Oh, yeah, Japan already said, fuck what you talking about. We gonna have that damn Olympics. We don't care what y'all say about no coronavirus and no crap. Look,
well,
we saw what happened with Brazil.
Yeah,
they needed that money. That was the craziest thing I ever seen in my life. You had the black people in Brazil. They had a stone wall built around the black communities in Brazil, so you didn't see how poor they were.
Hey, but they came out and said, "We here."
Yeah, they was jumping.
Just like
they was jumping over the damn wall.
Just like the Negroes in America.
You gonna see us.
You gonna see us. We gonna be seen.
Oh man! But since we're in 2021, we could talk about we talked about last episode the things that happened across the world or across America, really, because we're American exceptionalists, so we only talk about stuff that happened in America. We can't help it.
You're average American.
Yeah. But let's talk about on the black YouTube, or what happened pretty much in December. Who just pretty much dominated what happened in December? Kevin Samuel.
Yeah.
He came along, and everything started with the word high value man.
Yeah.
And then it turned into you're just average, and that just took over the or at least black sector of YouTube.
I don't understand what's wrong with being average. Most people are average. Now you have some who are not average. But average doesn't mean bad.
Yeah, but there's a sector of people who view average as a negative, and we're gonna get into that. But about Kevin Samuel, obviously, I even forgot when the video came out. 2020, it's hard to remember when stuff happened. Stuff happened in May, and you think it happened yesterday, and stuff that happened yesterday, you think it happened all the way in June.
This is a very it was
so much
year.
It's
so many events
that we just forgot about. But yeah, Kevin Samuels, obviously after that video came out, he had a lot of backlash, along with the support that he gained. And a lot of people started making accusations towards him. And the main one that came up, and one that he even had to respond to, was the "is he gay" type thing. People see the way he moves.
Shaming tactic.
Yeah, it's a shaming tactic. They pay attention to his boots.
Listen, half of the stuff Kevin Samuels, I'm gonna say more than half of the stuff, like the suits, I like his suits. But, some of that stuff is not for me, but to each his own.
Yeah, to each his own,
I'm not going to sit here and bash the man because of what he wears. It's your personal style, and it is what it is.
It is what it is. So, we're going to go right here.
Oh, hell.
One of the accusations thrown against him by a particular person.
Derek
Everybody done had a video against this dude. We all know who he is.
Sassy.
As you can see, it is the Derek Jackson. We're just gonna cut to the chase of what he had to say.
Listen, that's a big dude.
Hey, let me say this: when he first said this, I was one of those people that was like, "Yo, Kevin."
And I looked him up.
Yeah, Kevin. You gotta. Hey, some people, you gotta go check them when it says certain things about you.
Willie D, we was like,
yeah,
just
Willie D
had that private combo.
My brother right here, he was saying how when Willie D had made a comment towards Kevin Samuel, which now looking back, it seemed like we took it out of context because he went on to not apologize but clarify what he meant.
Yeah.
But we was like, yo, don't deal with him because we saw him on video put him in sleep. But we was like, man, yo, we was like, you might well go ahead and see what this dude about. I mean, he a simp. Then we looked him up. He like 6'5", 240. You're like, hey, Kevin, ain't worth it, OG. Just let him be. Let him be on his own.
Just let him be spicy.
And you wonder why he talks so crazy. It's because he's so big.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. Hey, I live still too, homie. Hey, just because I ain't got the weight. Hey, other things can be done.
It's two types of steel that can be lifted.
It's three. You got weight. You got the blade, and you got the pistol. Hey, I'm not saying to be violent. I'm just saying like there's other ways to deal with a big dude. But yeah, we're gonna listen to his comments he made. This is an old video. This is probably 2 weeks old now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Conversation where you get to tell somebody that what they're saying to you is mean. Like the way I tell people what they're saying to me is mean is that I hang up. And secondly, as a woman, how y'all letting anybody gauge your attractiveness or tell you that you're average at best in terms of how attractive you are as a woman? You don't even know if they really like women like that. If they're attracted to any woman. I'm not.
That's the shaming tactic.
So he got to be gay. And it's funny thing is, it's funny he say this because the accusations of being a homosexual have came against him. There's plenty of women that have said that they think he's gay and they're waiting for it to come out. It's like, why would you use a
Why?
certain?
Well, for me, why would you attack another black man?
See, that's a deeper level of it. This is when you understand there are certain people that they don't have the same goals or agenda as you.
His goal is
Make bread
off
sell
black
books.
women. It could be make bread. It could be getting these single mothers out here.
Well, he's married, so we're not make accusations towards him.
Okay.
He's a married man.
Okay.
And he is married to a sister, so give him that. But the point of the matter is, there's certain things you don't do, especially in public. If you don't agree with Kevin Samuels, that's one thing. Make an argument why he's wrong. Don't start attacking using personal tactics towards him.
Yeah, and he's come out and said that he's not a homosexual.
Yeah, he's been adamant that he's not homosexual.
But he brings it up in like every show now. Pretty much,
he hears it every.
It's a shaming tactic.
Well, he says that he watches content around YouTube, and obviously that's one of the things he hear a lot.
Well, honestly, they can't find nothing else about him, and because he's an image consultant, and the way that he dresses and advertises cologne and all this stuff, and the candles and stuff, that's the only thing they can use to attack him.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how the game goes, though. And let me say this. Now, we're guilty of this a little bit. Most people are making videos off of him.
Eating off the man.
Just eating. A lot of people just trying to eat off of him because it's some guaranteed views. I'll be honest. But some people are using this as a way to not just build up their platform.
Yeah.
They're using to build up a new agenda against him.
Yeah.
We know about the obvious, the divest movement and all this stuff with a certain side of YouTube, which is nothing new. If you were around on YouTube around 2014, 13, 15.
And I wasn't, y'all.
He wasn't. I witnessed some of these wars that happened on YouTube, the flagging and the constant banning.
I was in another part of the world. I wasn't on internet. I wasn't part of that.
I pretty much had to introduce him to the internet completely. Because he pretty much used the internet to probably just listen to music a couple times.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know YouTube existed until like probably about 2015.
Well, I didn't
16.
know that. I didn't know what the internet was for until 2009. Like, it was like, what are you going to the internet for? Like, when I was in like middle school, I used to go to the internet to play like little computer games and stuff. Going on the internet to actually watch and play games and stuff, it was strange.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, we're gonna get to it. One of his last videos, he asked the question, Are modern women angry today? And what are your thoughts on that question?
I would say modern women are, I would say they're angry. And particularly, black women are angry.
So you just had to bring up angry black woman. You just had to bring up the
No, because I'm a black man, so I don't care about the other races of women.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into the first part of this video. Let me do this. I'm not going to watch that. So the first part of this is going to be a big part of you. You got some stories you got to tell about this. The first part of this is going to be about working. This girl's going to make a call in, and she's going to bring up some points that I know you can speak to. So be prepared.
And down who says something, but you won't go until.
No, I can't. I'm just saying, I cannot agree with that because that's not even the role that I take in my personal life with my father, with my husband. I don't do that, but I just feel like, where do we get?
My fault. Let me start back here. That's what I meant to go. I'm sorry. Let me move to, yeah.
So when I do the rating show, you have to be on camera and visible. All right. Nakia, what happened to her?
Your show, because it is so true. We walk around with anger that we don't even realize. And I noticed that when I work with Black women and when I work with women in general, like they just have expectations that are very demanding for the fact that they have no reason to have the expectations that they have. And especially in the workplace, it's really sad that even your counterparts in your work environment bring a type of energy that you try to avoid. And I think a lot of that energy comes from social media.
So, what is your experience
In the
working,
workplace?
working with black women?
Well, honestly, I had a black employee who I'm still close with to this day. She's an older black lady.
Uh-huh.
And I will say one thing positive. It's more than one thing positive about her.
Yeah.
She was loyal.
Loyal.
Now, one thing that on the negative side about her is she had that big mama complex, which
Yep.
means
Control everything.
but she did it in a manner of what she was respectful to me,
Yeah.
but everybody else was just like
She was mama hen.
they couldn't deal with that energy, and she was very territorial.
Yep.
Like if she didn't really want me to hire women, she preferred to have more males in the workplace.
Like most women.
Like most women.
Most women.
Um
No. You need to tell the story about the beginning of your work career when you had to deal with particular black women.
okay. When I first started my work career, it was this black woman named Katrina, and she was like Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane Katrina.
She was now this one I would say was not loyal. This woman was plotting on my job the very first day she entered the building. I started noticing things. I would go upstairs to talk to clients, and they would be like, I like you, but I like Katrina. Maybe you should let her lead. And I was like, where's this coming from?
This is strange.
I would go upstairs, and she's supposed to be gone. She's off the clock. She's upstairs. What she was doing was she was developing a rapport with not only with the clients, but with other employees, other high-ranking employees. But see,
48 laws of power.
What got her was her bad attitude. She probably could have had my job because at this point she had gone off and did some education in areas where I hadn't did education in areas.
Yeah,
so she had a one up on me in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But because her attitude was so bad, and maybe she thought she just had this job in the bag, she just told me I'm gonna go. She pretty much told me she was gonna go to a place. And now I hadn't been in Seattle that long. I didn't know where this place was, and she was just like, well, she thought I should have known that she wouldn't be back the next day. And I'm like, no, I am your supervisor, and you tell me when you coming back. I don't guess when you coming back.
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Your employee expect you to know when they're coming back.
She was even turning my staff against me because at this point I had my boss at this point, he was doing things to try to, get me to quit as well.
Yeah.
And I had so much pressure. It was a white male.
Yeah.
White man.
Keep that in mind.
And it was so much pressure going on to where, sometimes as an employer, you have to close your office to get stuff done. And she was telling my staff, oh, he's shutting us out and leaving us out here by ourselves while we have to deal with this.
Completely causing chaos.
So that was a negative.
Yeah, negative experience.
But
like you said, there's more. There's positive.
There are positive experience because the black woman that I was my employee. We have a very positive relationship, and I still keep in contact with her to this day. So
yeah. That part. Just keep in mind that this was a black woman and a white man plotting to get rid of another black man.
And I hate to say, it was an older white woman
that told him to watch his back.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And watching these ladies on these reality shows that are for entertainment, and people are forgetting that it's entertainment.
Oh, the reality shows, Love and Hip Hop. Oh my
Real
God.
Housewives of Atlanta. That's where that queen, that high ranking,
Ooh boy. But the thing about it is, when did the reality shows like that truly take off? Was it Flavor of Love where it really started? I can't remember.
I think it really started with the Housewives franchises. And
you mean the Housewives, the Mafia one?
Yeah.
New York, Housewives of New York or something like that? I can't remember.
Well, I think it was the Real Housewives of Orange County that started.
Uh-huh.
But I think for black women in particular, It was the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then all these love and hip hop
None of them.
franchises. But don't get me wrong, the women are beautiful on these
Let me
shows.
tell you something. Those shows have a male audience. The women on those shows,
Yeah, they have a male
fine
audience.
as hell.
They don't come on there for the drama. They come on there to just watch the women.
Every scene, they're dressed in something different, showing a different part. Let me say that.
Let's be honest.
Women look good, but
hold on, some of them now those hair hats make black women. Y'all don't.
Let me tell you something.
You explain it.
I've been telling my brother this for about a couple years now. I've never seen a black woman who has a fro or has her natural hair up that wasn't attractive. I mean, I'm not saying if you have a fro, you're automatically a 10 or something. I'm telling you, that hairstyle does something to a black woman's femininity.
Because that's their natural state.
Any beautiful woman you know, famous or not, if you see them with their natural hair, I promise you, they're going to look even better to you. But, we're not going to tell women what to do. We're going to stay out of women's business.
I think
mind your business.
That it goes before that. I think it goes directly to something that's about to hurt. Buckle in, ladies, because many women have never had the love of a father.
True. That also is huge.
The love of a father is what many women who are upset and angry in the world, they never had a chance to be a girl to their daddy.
You agree with that? I mean, let's look at our childhood and where we grew up. How many of the girls we know, whatever problems we may think they had their father in their life?
Well, I would say
none.
Well, our uncle's daughter, he was there her whole life.
Who? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
she kind of. But see, he was a pastor, and let me say, the pastor
kids are always
the
terrible.
Pastor kids is always what you think it is.
But
now, she did bounce back a little bit.
Yeah,
she bounced back, but
he was a great. I can tell you that our uncle, our mother's brother, he was a great father figure to us because he was there with his daughter. He was pretty much there more than
the mother.
The mother was.
She was a dad.
And by the way, they're still married to this day.
They're married, but they're separated.
But they were together. She's what, 26?
Yeah, 28. She's gonna be 28.
So I would say they was together for at least 22 years.
Yeah, something like
before
that.
They separated.
Yeah, so and we ain't gonna get into the drama of that. Yeah, that was not his fault. We're gonna say it like that.
But yeah, he was a great father figure for us to see.
But yes, I would say though, most of the women in where we grew up,
even
North Carolina, shout out Rayford, North Carolina, most of the women we knew didn't have a father in their life. And a lot of them had very negative things attached.
Well, our mother's father passed away at an early age.
So our grandmother, she was married. She never remarried, never dated again, never had any outside children. But I'm talking about the people around the younger generations.
Yeah. And then our aunt's daughter, her dad passed away around what? She was 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But they did have a stepfather in the household.
A stepfather.
She was married. She had a husband. He was a stepfather.
Look, man, we gonna keep it G real. He was never really treated like a stepfather though. He was treated like
that doesn't mean he didn't try though.
He tried at moments, but it was one of those situations that's hard to explain. So
that's why Kevin Samuels makes that thing that where men don't really want to be stepfathers because
it's difficult.
It's not their cubs. So they're coming in.
Are gonna. Yeah. You have to be a certain type of dude to get the kids, especially the young males.
Because what do lions do when they come into a pride and take over?
Isn't it called infanticide or something like that? Where they just kill all the cubs.
They kill all the cubs because that's not their offspring. Not their pride. And so. I'm not saying y'all don't.
Yes, please do not go and kill your new girl kids, dog.
Black people don't do that type of stuff.
That's.
We know what racists do.
Europeans type people do that. We know who do that. The wild man. Let's move on.
They had a mother and they were a girl. But to be able to be your daddy's little girl and to have the unconditional love by a father, even for that little bit of time, that would have been an experience that many women could have carried on. So many women today are walking around, they've never been loved.
True.
So when the sad part about being black women is that natural fire, zest, spirit has been weaponized for the profit of corporate America.
Is that why black women feel like black men don't love them or like them because they didn't have that father figure to show them love? They feel like
I think that was his point.
okay.
But let's talk about this point he just made about black women in customer service.
Oh,
Now, you got to say something you had to admit to yourself.
Listen, I admitted it. Listen, I take Metro time to time, and sometimes I want to call and address things that are going on. And when a black woman get on the phone, it's just a certain
Energy. They set the tone from the gate.
Listen, you know what? I don't view it as a negative thing, but it could be taken as a negative
It can
thing
be turned into a negative thing.
because you know how you be ready to go in and go off on people, and then it's like, "Hello, this is that." You like,
uh-oh.
You just go.
And the thing is, when you get on the phone with most people to complain about the company, most people simply take the tongue lashing because they know the anger isn't with them; it's with the company. But black women, because of the circumstances
that they have to,
they want to smoke. So
yeah,
they get on the phone. Hello, sir, and that sir, you know when you hear that sir, it's a very stern sir.
Or when they say ma'am,
or man, so they set the tone from the gate. I don't want your bullshit. If you get loud, I'm gonna get loud,
and you just abide by
and
it.
you have to. If you want to get anywhere, you have to change your whole mood.
Yeah, because
and it's like I said, that can be used for a great thing. That is a great thing. But when you're doing it for corporations against people, you pretty much become a barrier.
Yeah.
And this is why when you go to any place that requires you to speak to somebody for help.
That's why I reference black women as lions and lioness.
Yeah.
Because black women, they use their strengths for the wrong reasons. Like if you notice, the male lion sends the lioness to go off
and hunt
and attack, but he comes in
to finish it
off. The problem with the black woman is she's greedy.
She want to
take the whole kill. She don't want to let the man come in and let the lion come in and do what he's supposed to do. Because she want to do it all.
Because she look at it as I did my part. What you do? Not understanding, he protecting you.
He
from
protecting the pride.
He
keeping the other male pride. He keeping the other lions from coming in, taking the pride over and killing your
everybody. So
because if the female lion is trying to step in and stop, they'll kill them too.
Yeah, they got to go. But once again, don't go killing no damn kids because people just 2020. Was crazy.
Don't take stuff out of context, y'all.
2021 gonna be even crazy. I can already tell. So a lot of Negroes.
Yeah, they're gonna let us free for about. They let us free in about the end of January. They let us have about a month off.
No, I think they're gonna punch hard in the fall. I think they're gonna lighten up very. I don't think you're gonna see a situation where it's gonna be packed, but I think around March, June, it'll be kind of loose, and then they'll punch hard in fall. Bring it back.
And for the detriment of black America, let me explain. Go to customer service, go to collections, office manager. Black women are often in gatekeeper positions or in positions where revenue must be defended because black women will fight. Yeah, there have been comedy skits and people say, when I call into so-and-so, I get a black woman, I just hang up because they ain't going to get nothing. and that's one way, but you can pay that and make money. But another way, it's been weaponized against black men who are not your enemy, to where I did a skit called Popeyes versus Chick-fil-A, to where when sometimes people don't even want to go up to deal with some women because they look so angry. They have RBS, rest in beef face, RBF. But
RBF. Have you ever witnessed RBF?
Yes, I have.
And it's not just black women, by the way.
That's women in
general. It could be, yeah. What, man?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get them in attention.
I don't mean that in that context, dude.
Hey, I'm just saying. But, yeah, I definitely have seen that where And a lot of times it's just somebody could be just minding their business. And in a sense, and while they minding their business in public, they look like they don't want to be bothered. So most people don't bother them. But then you hear women say, "Well, man, don't approach me," and it's like, are you approachable? If you're not approachable, no one's going to approach you.
I don't know. It's like they just get off this well, not to everybody.
Not to everybody. Not to
They
everybody.
they give off this energy to some people, and they just go, "Don't come over, don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't bother me. I don't want to deal with you."
Well, that's any woman. I mean, if you look at a woman, she's not attracted to you. I mean, you get the signal immediately. Leave it
Or
alone.
they could be attracted to you, and they just trying to play hard to get.
No, playing hard to get would be looking at you and then looking away. If you get if they if they look at you and you just don't do it, man. You just know don't do it. If some women give you that look where it's like, a smile, and you just know, okay, she's giving me permission. I can approach her, and it won't be a problem. But I mean, as a man,
But
you
that
have to
ain't
be
how
able,
the black woman operate.
you just got to be able to read those signals. It is what it is.
But let me get on to this person who has a disagreement. She up here smacking her lip. Do you want some? Come.
I'm all nervous now. You hit it on the nail.
This is the next girl. She sounded very, very sad.
I actually you felt the emotion in
You
her
could
voice.
feel the emotion in her voice. She was wanting to cry the whole time. But there's another point I want to make about her.
A lot of us are angry because we don't have, fathers to love us, or I think Black women in general, the world hates us.
Now, that's called projection. She's using Black women as a cover for herself. She feels that she's not loved, probably by her father. And another person she's going to bring up later in this, I don't know if I'm able to get to it, but in another part of this, she's going to bring up a guy that she called and asked him to take her to an airport. And the next day when she called him, he said maybe, and then he didn't take her to the airport. And I said, that seems like a weird thing to use as relying on someone. People get busy. It seems like this guy in particular, she probably wants more with him. And in that moment, she realized he's not interested in her. So she probably, from a lot of the men in her life, feel forgotten, unwanted, and obviously unloved. So you can hear she needs therapy. And I don't know if she needs to go to a therapist. She just needs someone that can let her understand that what she thinks is just in her head. It's just in her head.
No. Can't let that one go.
Can I speak on my experience?
I can let you speak on that experience, but I cannot allow that to go out across the airways unchecked. The world does not hate you, and Black men don't hate you. You may feel as though, now I'm not going to dispute your feelings, but I'm just got to respond. Go ahead.
Okay. So not just my own experience, but I have a lot of Black female friends.
Okay.
I'm a hairstylist, and
go ahead.
I think that's one of the women he told high value men to ignore: nurses, hairstylists, those type of women. So that's why he said that, I guess.
Why ignore them?
Well, he says they have that independent woman spirit on them.
Oh, okay, because they own their own businesses.
Yeah, a nurse, they probably went to college along. They went to college. They now work as a what do you call it? I don't forget the name of the career, but they're a nurse, and then you got the hairstylist.
You talking about a practitioner?
Yeah, and then you got the hairstylist, which probably works inside of either business she owns or she's a co-owner, and it's the entrepreneurial spirit on them.
Go ahead. I can hear you. Okay. I didn't know if I should stop because you were speaking.
No. Just go ahead.
Okay. I'm a hairstylist, and I've worked in very diverse environments. Mm-hmm. And it's so emotional to speak about. I've experienced stereotypes. I've experienced just people having this perception of me because of, I guess, television, because of the media. And it doesn't hold true for most of us.
So yeah, you can tell she is you can tell she read that question that he put the question up as a poll first before he did the live stream. And you could tell when she read that question.
They just sent her over the edge.
Sent her over the edge. And she probably was crying up until the time of this live stream. Probably even afterwards. So that was just to show there are women out here who are very, very sad. And they show all these women have some level of sadness in them. They just show it different ways. Some of them become very angry, and the angry women, and some of them become very sad and depressed. So that was just the point of that one. We're gonna move on to this other part. This is the last part. Then I don't want this segment to be too long. Hold
on. Marquita. Marquita.
Two more.
Okay.
But
not today.
But I did have one disagreement, or maybe need some clarification. You made a statement about women are walking around calling themselves queens, but they're like rated a 4 or a 5. And I just don't understand the relation of calling yourself a queen and with looks. How does that compare to looks? Because I think maybe there's a disconnect with our meanings of when a woman calls themselves a queen.
Okay, well, okay. How old are you?
I am 43.
43. In any given country, how many queens do you have?
1.
Right. But the rank and file black woman calls herself a queen.
Yes.
Why?
Well, okay. So if you're going to go with the literal term, but I think black women use it as a term of respect. You just, a queen gets respect. And I think that respect should be given as, it shouldn't matter how you look. Everyone deserves.
Hold on. Respect should be given?
Well, let me say earned. If I treat you with respect, it should be mutual, regardless.
Okay. Let me ask you: do most black women treat people with respect?
I could say that maybe not.
Okay. So you make the point that the reason why you would call yourself a queen is because you demand respect, and then he asks you, "When do black women show the average person respect?" And you say no. This is a black woman saying this.
Epic fail.
Like, damn.
Okay. So maybe not, or just to be honest.
Okay. Well, I think it's a problem
No, I don't understand. So let me rephrase. Do most black women treat people with respect?
Okay, no. If I be honest.
So by what you just said, you get respect after you gain respect. So by definition, you can't be a queen by your own logic if you don't treat people with respect, because you don't get it.
Okay.
That's just what you just said.
Well, I'm saying I'm speaking for the ones who do carry themselves with respect and respect others, even if they're not a 10 or an 8.
Hold on. We gotta take steps.
Okay.
What percentage of women, or black women in this case, are treating people with respect in a queen-like regal fashion?
I do not have that percentage. I do not know that.
If you just had to take a guess, just eyeball it.
Sheesh. I would have to say, and I might be a little biased, okay?
Okay.
I would have to say, okay, let's say 40%.
She really mean 20.
Listen, she preferenced the 40% by saying I'm biased. So that means she think it's lower than that. She just upped the number.
She's saying, she really think about 20%.
So you believe only 20% of black women are queens then? According to her. I mean, we'll say 40%. That's the number she said. Damn. Well, she just proved the point. There's not much to say right there. I mean, Jesus. This last part, this woman came in and asked him why he attacked black women and stuff.
I'm great. How are you?
I am well. What do you got for me?
Okay, look, I didn't call to do any disagreements
So
or anything like that. What I called for was tonight is New Year's Eve.
Okay, I think that that's valid. Like we can talk about balance.
No, I'm saying, but do you do that? The answer is no.
So she came into this wanting to attack him for quote unquote attacking black women, but then he said, well, "What about the channels of the women attacking black men, constantly calling them Dusty and all this other stuff?"
We know who calls him Dusty.
Dusty.
She shall be unnamed.
A former what's the word she used to use? Evil Abanoid devils.
And she's not that far from us either.
Oh yeah, I've seen you before in person, but we're gonna move on. But yeah, she never went to those channels, and she admitted it and said anything about the negative or the holding people responsible. That's what they say they're doing.
You can't
be a hypocrite.
Can't be a hypocrite. If you're gonna go on Kevin Samuels live, you got to go on the women that do this lives too.
Yep.
So
she's not.
You got to be even.
But we learned at the end of this, she had an ulterior motive coming on here.
No, I agree.
Like, okay, so, and there are 50 times more channels out. 50 times more channels out there for women saying that about men versus me. So I think you're bashing me.
Okay,
you're focusing on me when I'm in the minority. Men's channels and platforms are small. Oh yes, ma'am, I am. Oh yes, ma'am. 40 years. 40 years. 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, black women have had access to platforms for about 40 years now. I would say it probably started around, obviously, most people would say early 1970s is where it started. That's when the feminist movement started. That's when all that stuff started. Around the 80s, that's when you start getting the television networks, the movies, the books, Death of Superman, and all this stuff. These CIA-funded women writing movies like Colored Purple, and how degrading those was to who black men were when they never lived in the society in America where it was like that at all. How the black men in the movie were pretty much white men. They didn't have any. There was no trouble upon black men in that movie. None. They didn't have any worry. They were completely free of any outside force. It was only black women. The only person that had to deal with white people in the whole movie was a black woman, where she ended up going to prison for punching a white cop. But yeah, well, we know what that game is, though.
The image of black men demeaning black women and coming for black women.
I personally believe that this is preferred by white society.
Honestly, sit back and think of men are they said I cursed that woman out. How long you been following me?
Not very long, but about 4 months.
Excuse me. I put up the entire They're trying to, but the black men they're trying to part, that's your father. It's your brother.
Using that tactic against them.
Yep.
Because see, they don't make any distinction when they call us all nigga.
But black men are protecting black women either.
Excuse me?
Black men are not protecting black women by any.
Oh, first off, is your name Sabrina?
No, I'm the husband of Sabrina, sir.
Okay. Then here's the first off, don't come at me like that. If you're not Sabrina, I don't know who you are, and you didn't even introduce yourself to me.
My name is Breon Nixon, sir. I apologize, but I would like to speak if I can. In protection of my black woman.
Yeah, and you can't, and honestly, you were on here earlier under your own name.
Oh, yes, I was, sir.
Right, and I dropped you for a reason, because it is for women, not for
you. Didn't want people to conflict with your agenda.
No, I just don't want to hear from you. Because if you, as a man, you let that run free in your house and don't check that, and you allow that amount of disinformation to go on, we got nothing to talk about.
What you think about that?
You know, it was, he sent his woman to try and to accomplish a mission that he sent her to do, and she couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Kevin was just stabbing her, cutting and slicing her at the edge. So he had to come in and save her.
So she came in and said, I have a list of questions, which means he wrote the list of questions for her. She couldn't defend him the way he wanted to.
So he had to come in and save her.
And obviously he didn't get far with
And then he ended up getting stabbed.
He was going to get far with it anyway. But the Kevin Samuels segment, he's doing
great work.
Great work. And now he has a thing where he says he's going to have a profile thing on his page where every week or bi-weekly, he's going to have a woman and a man, and he's going to pretty much market them to possible partners. I think that's pretty dope.
I think this is a channel for women to come and wave the white flag.
Look, it's negotiating time. The gender war is over.
The gender war is over. Let it go.
Let it go. Neither one won. Nobody won.
Nobody won because we both losing.
We both lost. Get to the table. His channel is all the women out there that are educated, have a certain background, all the guys that have a certain background, come and show that we can come together, get over the bull stuff, just move on. It happened, move on. So now I want to get into another topic. There's a thing that started, well, I knew about it years ago. If you know about the ADOS movement, I've watched Yvette Cornell. The first time I saw her,
and Antonio Moore.
Shout
out to Antonio Moore.
Shout out to Antonio. Got to make sure, because a lot of times he get invisible when people bring up this movement. I will say, but the first time I heard about her was she had interviewed Dr. Tommy Curry when the article, the black men are the white people of black people. When that article came out, and she interviewed him, and I think I remember her using the ADOS. I think I remember her saying that in the video. I can't remember. But since then, obviously, it's became pretty mainstream. Most people know about it, at least if they're into politics at all. It's been castigated, attacked.
Very attacked.
It's been attacked harshly. It's been paired with other groups.
Tried it. People have tried to infiltrate the movement and take over.
And it's been slandered all over the place. But it amazes me how this movement starts, and the main people who are angry with it are black immigrants.
Yeah.
Like the argument is black Americans have to have a specific claim to get what is deserved to us.
And it doesn't they don't just talk about black immigrants, they talk about Latinos. Yeah. They talk about
and the reason why they do this is because in America you're either black or white. We say there's multiple races, but everybody is either black. You're either white or non-white.
Yeah.
So you have to break that up.
Minority.
Yeah, minority, person of color, black, indigenous person.
POC, bullshit.
You have to break that up, because if you allow everybody to be under your umbrella,
then everybody gets to profit off of you.
Everybody gets a piece of your crumb. That's what happened with the civil rights movement. A lot of the things in that bill was written for black Americans, but because other groups labeled as black or African American, they were able to reap the benefits of it. And that's not necessarily the worst thing, but at the end of the day, it's getting to a point where black America's at the bottom.
We're at the bottom
of everybody. You can't name one demographic we're not below. Particularly, you got,
and I like the when Yvette frames it as they have literally anchored us.
Yeah.
To the bottom.
It's pretty much what happened. It's just one of those things where you're actually kind of surprised at the level of vitriol that can come your way, you know. But there's a particular guy that I found on YouTube, and this guy, his name is the Unapologetic Negropean. Now, he started his channel at least that I can tell, about 8 months ago, and I think he's a Jamaican British guy. I might be wrong, and he for the most part constantly attacks black Americans, in particular the Bag family and Art Cathy.
Shout out to Art Cathy and the Bag family.
Yeah, with Rick,
and Sweet Juicy Mama.
Don't call her that. That's not proper to call her that. Her name is Cynthia.
Sweet Juicy Mama.
So he got a video here saying that this is crazy. He said Rick has a criminal record.
Whoa.
I did not watch the video, but he's attacking them harshly. Now, this video don't really mean nothing.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
What?
He put out a video saying Rick got a criminal record.
Which I hope he knows in America you can go to jail for a parking ticket, anything.
You
I don't know what the video
for
is about. I have not watched the video. I'm probably not going to watch it, to be honest, because I've seen the stuff he's saying. I don't even want to watch it. So, but yeah, he attacked Art Kathy. Like he probably on Art Kathy even more. And right here,
you know what? Art Kathy is a different breed from the Bag family.
Oh yeah,
she don't mind. She don't mind roasting. She want to smoke.
Cat being annoying. So right here, he constantly is attacking African Americans, but he finally responded to why he attacks African Americans. Hold on. He finally responded to why he attacks African Americans, and he said it's because you'll see his excuse for attacking Black Americans right here. Watch this.
To understanding in terms of the entire diaspora, realizing that we are totally different, but we need to respect each other in that same way. You understand? We must respect the fact that we are different. In fact, we shouldn't just respect it, but we should celebrate it. Can you imagine all of us being just one particular type of?
Sound like the ADOS talking point right there.
Pretty much.
People, it wouldn't be fair. We have gone out into the diaspora, especially the African Americans. Have ventured and become the strongest and most influential African ethnicity. I would even possibly say the strongest in terms of influence, the strongest ethnicity in the world, period.
Exactly. Well,
so hold on. So he's saying that we're like the strongest.
We influence everything. He's right.
He's putting the
Black Americans on a pedestal. Now, when he's
putting us above Europeans, pretty much.
But when you hear his whole point, I actually see him as a little different than I did at first.
Okay, if you realize that they did this whilst under duress, you can't even imagine.
Duress? That was not duress. That was oppression. But
imagine, right, what they would have done if they weren't. Okay, so I have a lot of respect for African Americans. I've made a ton of videos to try and get that across to people. Hey, this is not about African Americans. But I think I made a video the other day saying, hey, listen, I speak a lot about African Americans because you guys are the best. So you're going to get that. That's being the best at something, being the greatest at something comes with responsibilities.
You hear that? Now that's a Pan-Africanist talking point. You know how there's this thing called the white man's burden, where there's a manifesto where the white man believes it's his job to go out and conquer and civilize the world. That seems to be the same thing Pan-Africanists believe, that it's Black people's job to save African people. It's Black people in America's job to unleash any sort of oppression off of Black Americans. I mean, off of Africans and
anybody.
It's Black Americans' job to do this. So when he says it's with great power comes great responsibility, he's basically saying you're being chastised the most because you can do the most. That's basically his point. And when I hear that, I'm go. Obviously, when you're saying other things negative about Black Americans, like the typical they have no culture, you don't want to hear all that bullshit. But when you say it like that, it's like I can understand more what you're saying. Just don't troll to get attention. Like a lot of people are starting to put ADOS in their titles and stuff to get views. And they don't even really believe in ADOS ideology. We see some of the conscious community people putting ADOS in their title, constantly debating something that they don't agree with. Now, why are you debating something that you don't agree should exist? Unless it's for views and a bigger audience. But when we talk about that, there was a TV show, if you remember, that came out, how long ago was that? Maybe a year ago, year and a half ago. Was it
Bobby Hart.
Bob Hart's Abolosha. I don't know how to say the name. It's a Nigerian American TV show they tried to start about a Nigerian woman who becomes a nurse,
Ends up with a white man.
And she ends up with a fat white dude. And that's really, I mean, I would have felt disrespected on that part if I'm Nigerian. You finally put us on TV, not as black, as Nigerian, as my proper ethnicity or nationality. That's a nationality. And you use a Nigerian woman or an African woman and you pair her with a out of shape white man as her dating option.
It would have been better to just pair her with another Nigerian man.
But you know how that goes. That's just white people doing what white people do. But there was a scene in this movie that angered a lot of black people. And the show got 2 seasons. It's still on. It doesn't get a lot of views, obviously. Most shows on television don't get many views. They automatically get 2 seasons some of the time. But sometimes the network will, if the producer or somebody got enough clout, they can have a show drag out.
Or if they want to keep something propagating in the media, they will keep a show on forever. Like, that show should have been off the air.
Mad Men.
But because they want to keep whatever they're doing.
That show, Mad Men, if you remember that show has been sold in movies, other TV shows. Everybody was talking about this show, so I decided to watch it. I got 3 seasons in, and I said, this show is stupid.
I ain't watched that shit.
And that's when Netflix allowed the voting system. So it was like, the show had 2 stars. And it was like, wait, why is the show being pushed as this great show when every episode is about him cheating on his wife? Every fucking episode. How many times can you cheat on your wife and that's still a storyline?
You know who gave him who rated the show down.
Yeah. And really, the show was really about women and oppression. How his wife was sexually frustrated. How he would go out and have affairs with all these women, but she was at home never getting any sex. And how the abortion thing, how the woman wanted to move up in her career, so she decided to lie to the dude she got pregnant by and said she got an abortion when she didn't. She gave her child up for adoption to her mother and lied to him about having a child. The whole show was, you could tell it was a feminist show written to pass this idea that women are oppressed during that time. But this show, Bob Hart's Abolosha, there was a scene where it's this bad quality video, but yeah.
But if I were to marry again, it will only be to a Nigerian man.
Only? That kind of narrows down your options, doesn't it?
Don't listen to her. She has many options. Top of the list, Nigerian man, same tribe. Yoruba. Mm-hmm. Then Nigerian man, different tribe. Igbo. Mm-hmm. Then other Africans. Then Caribbean. Then white. Then African American. Mm-hmm. Then African American.
Mm-hmm. Wait. So a black man is last on your list? Below white men?
You get it.
I get that you full of crap. All you Africans think you better than us. Well, what?
You don't make it easy for yourselves.
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, come on. Gangbangers, welfare stamps, the baby mamas.
Ooh.
Now the crazy thing about that is
Nigeria.
They bring up gang bang. When Africans bring up gang banging, it's like, do you forget about the literal terrorist organizations in your country?
Boko Haram.
All the militias. Are you kidding me? And you bring it up from gang members in select neighborhoods that ain't being really popular.
They never paint y'all. They never paint y'all Africans in a positive light either.
They don't understand that though. But in this show, that was crazy because it was like, she said, black man at the bottom, not African man.
But what's really crazy is when you say, I'm not saying they're not black, but when you say black is usually used for a term for African Americans, and you say, well, you're not black, you're African, and they go, black Americans, they are the gatekeepers of blackness. They are the only ones that can call themselves black.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. The only person that called themselves black up until the early 2000s, mid 2000s
was black Americans.
And it was our fault because we went out our way to convince these other black people these other African ethnicities or black skinned people, brown skinned people to call themselves black.
Like New York. I'm calling out New York. Let's call New York out. Y'all have put the title on black on a lot of these Latino people coming into New York.
Yeah, I mean, how many times has Dominican trended because you got black people saying Dominicans are black and they're saying, no, we're not. We're a mixture of black, Native and Spanish.
European.
And it's just like, let them be what they want to be. Look.
Nope.
I remember when Bow Wow had tweeted that he was mixed.
But black people went in on him, though.
Yeah, they went in on him. And it was like, hold on. If he says he's mixed, stop claiming people that don't want to be a part of you.
They went in on Keisha Cole, too, because she said she can't go to Black Girls Rock.
Hold on. That wasn't her fault.
Because she's biracial.
That wasn't her fault. Her mama told her that she was something she wasn't. That wasn't her fault.
They still ain't forgave her.
Still ain't forgave her. I'm ready. I did one. Listen, Ashanti, you're not beating Keisha Cole.
No, Ashanti gonna beat Keisha Cole.
We gonna do a show on that.
Oh, I know we are.
Ashanti she gonna get swept. Dog.
No, she not.
Yes, she is.
No, she not. Ashanti's better than Keisha Cole.
We can't get into that right now. We can't even get into that. We're supposed to be in the middle of this ADOS talk.
That's ADOS business. We talking still.
Look, what's gonna happen? Gonna happen. Anyway, let's go to this second video I want to show you that has a lot to do with the relations between the different black groups.
You don't like me because I'm African. Oh, and there it is. If you don't like one African, then you must hate them all. It couldn't be that you're just not very likable. I like you, Agnes. Well, thank you, Jean. But I'm dealing with a bigot. Bigot? You see, you Africans, you go on like your shit no state. Hey, well, at least we have a little class. Class? As you classily while away the day scratching out your body hole. Well, at least we know what a toothbrush looks like. Go and show you what my back foot look like. Hey, Kwasia, when him say baby. What? Speak English, your blouse and skirt. What's it? What's it? Chat Boodoo again.
Ladies, this is silly. You two of all people shouldn't be fighting.
And why would that be, Dave?
Well, come on, I mean, yeah, you're both black, right? You're basically the same.
He didn't just say what you think he said. I believe so. You want to go first?
Oh,
After you. So, Chinese people and Japanese people are the same to you, Dave?
no, of course not. I mean, there's Bruce Lee and there's Mr. Miyagi.
No, it's my turn, Yvonne. My turn. The English and the German, are they the same?
Oh, no, that is racist.
So this is ADOS talking points. There are different black groups. It's not saying you're not black.
It's just saying you're not black
different.
American.
It's different. She just said that Jamaicans, I think she's Jamaican, and Africans are not the same. Because they aren't. They have a different culture. They have a different set of understanding of what is okay and what's not. The same thing with black Americans. And by the way, black Americans, they get chastised so much. We get accused of stealing.
We are by far the most welcoming black
easily. Now, you obviously have the people that constantly bring up stuff that happened in elementary.
The damn African booty scratcher.
I don't know. That joke gotta be put in the Hall of Fame. Gotta be put in the Hall of Fame. That thing affect people 20, 30 years after the fact.
If all y'all got called was African booty scratcher, you're lucky. You're lucky. They ain't
you do
nothing.
know that black Americans were called African booty scratchers by other black Americans, right? Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure that joke probably started talking to somebody who probably was just dark skinned.
Little black girls will tell you to kill yourself.
Like, listen, it's little kids. They didn't develop empathy. Hey, come on, it's little kids. Stop holding.
And most time when kids do that, they actually like you.
Yeah, it's joke. Look,
it's joke.
If you're ever around a group of black Americans and nobody ever crack a joke against you, they're not comfortable with you.
It's called roasting.
It's roasting. The dozens. It's like. But anyway, that's that on that. The ADOS thing, we definitely support it. Like I said, they've been attacked for things that they didn't do, and things that other groups attached to them did, and now they're being shamed for it. Shout out to all the people that's out there trying to push this political agenda to help us get what we are deserved. But moving on. We had some movies that came out in the last couple of weeks.
Mama Rainey's Black Bottom.
Mama Rainey's Black Bottom. What you think about that movie?
That movie was great. I loved Viola Davis' performance. I love Chadwick Boseman performance. I think it was Like it was trying to pick between which one was great. I think the whole cast is great.
Whole cast is great. I don't think there was no weak link in the whole movie.
What was really sad was when the older black dude died at the end.
I'm gonna show that. Listen, so the movie starts with Ma Rainey. Oh, it's not start, but it's about Ma Rainey and her band, and it's a day in the life of a band recording for, I forgot what studio company it is. I forgot what company it is, but they're recording for a company, a song for her. But she understands that the music genre is changing, and that she's gonna have to some change. Some sounds about to change, which is what Lovey, that's his name, right?
Levy.
I'm sorry, that's what he represents. And the whole movie, he's this ambitious young black man who had a very traumatic experience growing up. His mom was raped
by white
guys, and
then his father went off to kill him.
Went off to kill 4 of them out of the 6, and he got killed and lynched. So he has a very strong hatred for God and for white people. So he's one of those guys that believe he can be the spook that sat by the door like his father was. His father, after his mother was raped, sold the house to the man that raped her so they can go back and kill him. So he has the mindset of, I'll smile on this white man's face and I'll kill him later. Unfortunately for him, he didn't understand that sometimes you can smile on their face and they're not smiling back.
Yeah.
They understand what you are. So he ended up selling some music to one of the producers, and they didn't give him what he wanted, which is the sing his own record. And there was these constant scenes of him trying to get in this door. And the door signified what they call, the glass ceiling for women. The door was him trying to get in, but at some point during the movie, he's able to open the door, but it's brick walls. He didn't understand you're not meant to be there.
Yep.
And so these old men are constantly telling him, you can't trust this cracker, you can't trust these white people, they're never going to be trustworthy. And he thinks, I don't need to trust them, I just need to get what I want out of them.
Yeah. I just need for him to open the door, and then after I get in, I can make my own pathway.
Yeah, but when he opened that door, he realized there was nothing. And so in the end of the movie, he was so angry and irate that I'll just show the scene. Hopefully I don't get flagged, but it don't matter. So this is a scene after he stabbed his old man for stepping on his shoe.
Which is that's a symbolic.
Very symbolic. So right before the scene, he went on the stairway. He was telling the white guy, let me sign the record, let me sing the record. And he said basically no. So in his anger, instead of killing this white dude that betrayed him, he went back into the room. The older black man stepped on his shoe, and he ended up stabbing him in the back in a fit of rage. And he wasn't even mad with him. He was mad with the white man. And it shows how a lot of the times in our community, we tend to take our rage for the world out on ourselves and on our own people. So it's a very heartbreaking scene. This movie, Ma Rainey, was originally a play, if I'm not mistaken. They turned it into a movie. So this was a very good movie. I enjoyed it. Ma Rainey, Viola Davis, she was great.
And this role has been played before. The Ma Rainey.
Yeah.
I think Monique played it in Betsy.
She did really good in it too. But that was a good movie. Then we had
Soul,
which is starring Jamie Foxx
and Tina
Fey. About a man who wants to be a musician. He's in love. It's his passion. And then he ends up dying 10 minutes into the, which plays into the whole thing of black people dying in the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
So he dies. He goes to the afterworld, prepared to go into the crossover, and he runs back and goes back to the beginning where the baby souls are born. And by the way, there's a lot of esoteric meaning in this movie. There's a reason why they made him black and his souls and all the souls were blue. And the one of the souls that he worked with, Tina Fey, who he has to convince and give her spark so that he can get back to Earth. Her name on the movie is 22, which is one of the most powerful numbers. And you get into that, what they call it? Numerology. It's considered power and all that stuff, achievement, ability to do it. So being able to do the impossible, what the number 22 represents, which is, it sounds impossible for a man to die and come back from death. So the number 22 is really him. He is doing the impossible. He's going over, crossing planes into using other spirits, and a lot of hoobah in the movie. What's the good of the movie though? As it's a story, as it's a movie.
As just a movie and not going deep into the movie, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was watchable. When I was first hearing about, when you go into the whole fact of this white woman being
playing
in
a
the
black
man,
man,
that really pisses you off.
Like, wait, how you gonna use a black woman to play a black man?
But if you're a child looking at this and not going into that concept of the movie, you would say it's a good movie.
What do you
However,
think about... Go ahead.
I thought it was really messed up that this was supposed to be the first lead black, and let's just say black male.
Yeah.
And he played the character of himself for 10 minutes and then they turned him into
a cat.
And then he dies in the end. He gives up his life so that number 22 can go back to Earth.
Yeah.
And she can be fulfilled.
And be fulfilled, yeah. But then he ends up getting a chance to come back anyway.
Yeah.
He lives anyway. What do you think about the relationship between him and his mother?
I think they painted the picture of the sassy black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I think they painted the picture of her taking out what the father went through and then putting it on the son because his father was a musician too. And so she viewed it as, I saw your father struggling to be a musician and me being a seamstress is the one that was getting the bills paid. And then she also made a reference, I'm paying your bills too.
Yeah. I'm taking care of you too. But here's the thing. The movie's about how his father would love music so much that he sparked it in his son.
Yeah.
So a father passing on his passion
to
his son, which is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Your father is supposed to have a skill, and you're supposed to be able to start giving your son that skill so that he can become a master earlier than you did.
Yeah.
But they made the passion that his father gave him a burden.
Pretty much.
At the end of the movie, he realizes that music isn't really his passion.
Yeah.
That he really only loved it because of his father.
I think that was messed. When he got he died when he got his big opportunity.
Yeah.
And then he no longer wanted it when he completed his big opportunity.
When he finally got a chance to do his opportunity, he realized it wasn't what he wanted. And that there was more to life. And it's like you're almost saying that the burden, you're saying that the passion his father gave him was a burden.
Yeah.
And that seems kind of, But yeah, but Tina Fey, she has a history of negative stereotypes about race. People have written articles, as you can see, about her portrayal of black people, and not just black people, but all races in her movies. Keep in mind, Tina Fey, we have to point out, she is a Jewish white woman. And she brings race into everything, all her comedy. And no one challenges her in mainstream media.
We know why.
I mean, you look at this article, he went in on the blacks. If you go into 30 Rock, remember you had Tracy Morgan's character who was the, ignorant, hood dude. And then you had, what's his name? What's the other character in the show? I forgot his name. He plays the nerdy black guy who looks at Tracy Morgan's character with disappointment. And it's just like, why does they always have to put these Malcolm X, Martin Luther King characters in every single movie? Every movie that has black people in it, especially more than one, they always make the situation where one character is the anti-hero and one player is the protagonist. So one person is the protagonist and one person is the anti-hero, which means they're not necessarily bad, but they don't do things the way the quote unquote hero is supposed to do. And she always does stuff like this. If you look right here, she has there's multiple articles written about her and her, problems with race, you got Asian people, all that stuff. So it's one of those things where she get away with it for obvious reasons. We know why. And it's just crazy, man. There's something else I want to show you. Back to the little bit more on the ADOS thing. There's a person that you pretty sure that gets thrown up a lot. Named Shirley Chisholm. Chisholm. I'm sorry.
Shirley Chisholm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna show you this. This is McVeigh, who was a Jamaican, I believe, or Haitian. I'm sorry, I keep messing this up. He was a Jamaican or Haitian. This is some of his comments right here. He said McVeigh spoke for many others when he reported that it was the first time I had ever come face to face with such manifest and placeable hate for my race, and my feelings were indescribable. I had heard of prejudice in America, but never dreamed of it being so intensely bitter. So basically, he's talking about when he first arrived in America, and he says, let me see this. He said, strong white man, splendid types of better physiques than any other I had ever seen, exhibiting the most primitive animal hatred towards their weaker black brothers. In the South, daily murdered of a manner most hideous and revolting. So basically, he made some comments saying that he realized the struggle of black Americans from a standpoint of complete domination. Like, these people were getting dominated by these white people. Then there's another comment by Shirley Chisholm. This is why ADOS is necessary. This is her comments. But the feelings is there. One basis for it may be that in the islands, slavery was a less destructive experience than it was in the States. Families were not broken up as they were in the South. The abolition of slavery came earlier there and with much less trouble. In the islands, there have never been the same kind of race barriers. There are class barriers, but they are not the same. Race lines cut across them. As a result, I think blacks from the islands tend to have less fear of white people and therefore less hatred of them. They can meet whites as equals. This is harder for American blacks who tend to overreact by jumping from feeling that whites are superior to looking down on them as inferior. Both attitudes equally isolate them from the greater society in which even eventually we all have to learn to live.
So she's saying get over it?
No, she's saying that foreign blacks,
I know about that part, but
blacks
in the
are
end,
better at dealing with white people.
Yeah, I got that part, but at the end,
what do you mean when she says
both attitudes equally isolate them from the greater society in which eventually we all have to learn to live?
Basically, she's saying we're gonna have to assimilate.
You have to get over it and assimilate.
So it's like you have a woman from a Caribbean woman telling black Americans, "I know how to deal with white people better than you." Why you in a like? This is the type of stuff that has to go. Like, you see people saying stuff like black Americans can't talk about race. We need other ethnics of blacks to talk about it because black Americans don't have enough nuance. And it's like, what's going on? So you telling me black Americans can't tell their own story? This is the anger comes from what's his name? Daniel Kaluuya. I don't know how you say his name. The guy from Get Out.
Oh, Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, he's playing the Black Panther, not Black Panther, the Black Panther's creator.
I think the movie is called The Black Messiah.
Yeah, The Black Messiah.
He's playing Fred Hampton.
Yeah, Fred Hampton. And you got a lot of these foreign blacks making fun of it, saying, hey, get over all that stuff. And it's like, why can't black Americans tell their own story? And you have one, I saw a British black American say something like, British black American, a British African person say that black Americans can't play British people because they can't do the accent, but British people can do American accent. And saw somebody else say, well, who the hell black Americans gonna play? Like, what icons, whether it be musical artists, politicians, activists, who can we play from your society that we are fighting and beat down the door to play them? Like, who is your Fred Hampton?
Nobody.
And let me say this, we've looked this up. We went all over Google. We've tried our hardest to look. We know that activists existed.
Yeah, I believe activists existed.
A lot of the activists that existed came from the influence of black Americans.
I would just say this. If there are any UK brothers and sisters that are putting content out, I would love for y'all to put out some content revolving around.
Who is your Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
Your Malcolm X? I want to see them.
And I'm not trying to be funny. I would just
honest.
love to learn something from what you guys had to go through and experience.
Yeah. But like we know the Haitian Revolution.
Yeah, we know the Haitian Revolution.
That just came up January 1st. The whatchamacallit yesterday. But it just surprises me that there's so much backlash. Like, we love this movie, My Rainey, not just because it's her story, because it's a black American woman and it's a story told by black American actors. They're able to feel the energy, the soul, and capture the characters a lot better in the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can have as much you can have all the talent in the world, but you can't fake soul. You know? So
Viola Davis supposed to be our Harriet Tubman too, by the way.
The real Harriet Tubman. Cause we don't accept that other book. But all right, man, that's gonna be it on that. We got a little bit more in order today. We went in order a little bit better. Hopefully, you guys can give us some feedback on what you think.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
That's the most popular saying on YouTube. All right, man. Peace.